Hello, studio. Started rushing towards the police officers just a few minutes ago. Actually, right now this has just happened. The protesters began rushing up Bourke Street towards Parliament House. They went straight towards the police. Hundreds of firefighters, both on the ground and also in the air. Premier, thanks for your time. Just give us an idea of what you've seen here today.
What we're seeing here today is the devastation of the fire.
They say that there was hardly any warning. The fire was upon them so quickly. I'm Ahron Young in a freezing cold Melbourne, where the SES has received hundreds of calls from people. Began in Warrnambool early this morning, then moved through Geelong and then hit Melbourne mid-morning. It's now all-out war between Jeff Shaw and the government. Are Victorians sick of parliamentarians?
Well, I think that Mr Shaw's wrongdoing was an embarrassment to the Parliament.
The Victorian Department of Health has contacted 399 patients in eastern Victoria following the diagnosis of HIV in a healthcare worker. Sky News understands the letters were sent to people in the township of Bairnsdale in eastern Victoria, but under Victorian law the department can't legally disclose the identity of the healthcare worker or any details around which procedure led to a potential exposure.
We have some breaking news regarding an Ebola threat. What can you tell us?
When I spoke to the authorities in the actual, those scientists in the actual centre at Royal Melbourne Hospital, they were still waiting to be told. So this is what we do know. In health, the government will spend $45 million this year. Why do you think the Victorian government's looking set to lose a Victorian election?
Sorry, why are they going to what?
Or do you think they'll win?
Absolutely.
As they're trying to get through, there's a large number of ambulances with flashing lights and sirens, people screaming and chanting at him at the moment. A very tense scene here at the Liberal Party launch. Hello and welcome to Victorian Agenda. I'm Ahron Young with you live from Melbourne.
Hello everybody.
You say protection, I might say deadlock. Do you think people in Victoria want to have more problems in Victorian Parliament trying to get changes made?
Well, every year they spin the wheel and they end up with the same party, Liberal or Labor.
And Patricia, I'll start with you. Where do I start? Clive Palmer.
Sorry, I'll just, I know, he's so hilarious.
Thanks, Ahron. Very good to be with you.
Premier, thank you so much for your time. We find ourselves in Ballarat today. Do I call you Premier or Caretaker Premier at the moment?
No, you call me Dennis.
Where's it all gone wrong for the Victorian Liberals?
Didn't do enough in the eyes of the public.
And tonight, one of the key moments of the election campaign, the Sky News Herald Sun People's Forum. James, do you think that people are blaming the state or the federal government for their woes at the moment?
Well, I think they just blame government, full stop.
And how do we guarantee that both sides will deliver on what they promise? If only we could get that set in stone. I'm joined here at the Frankston Arts Centre by two of the Herald Sun's most popular columnists, Susie O'Brien and also Terry McCrann. Terry, I'll start with you on this one. Your thoughts, particularly on that final question about costings. For thousands of workers here at Toyota, they'll lose their jobs and Australia loses its car manufacturing sector. On Black Saturday, Darren and Bronwyn Wakelam were lucky to survive the blaze as it tore through King Lake. 2 days after Black Saturday, I met them.
By the time we were backing out this driveway, the firestorm was already upon this house.
It was a really difficult decision about rebuilding here. The memorial service for this National Day of Mourning for the victims of flight MH17. We were reminded that today Australia is a country of many different faiths, of many different views, and that's where Australia became directly involved. And so then from that point, the search for light on satellites operated by British company Inmarsat.
Our Melbourne Bureau Chief, Ahron Young, who is also our resident aviation expert, it must be said, is with us.
Yeah, David, there's still a lot of questions. What we do know, according to police, it was a homemade plane, a light plane.
Black smoke come up, but heard the bang when it hit the ground,
From Williamstown, or to here at Frankston, Footscray, in Hawthorn, or here at Dandenong.
Happy birthday to you.
Now will you answer all the questions as a present?